Okay, so I'll bite. Which one is this one?
Sonic the Hedgehog.
I see that.
That's the name of the game.
Yeah.
So, is it for...
All of them.
360, PS3.
Huh. Why have I never seen this?
Because
It was.
It looks okay.
You should watch the LP.
Okay.
It'd be pretty interesting.
everyone else apparently has. That's why we're here, isn't it?
I have a new mission.
I guess it's cool that you can destroy their things.
lampposts.
I actually like the over-gesticulation of all the stupid NPCs who shouldn't be there at all. It at least gives it... I don't know, it's something unique. It's them. Maybe... Actually, wait, maybe they stole that from The Sims.
No! No!
Oh,
The
yes.
controls of this game so bad! So, who wants Chinese?
Because you've never used them at all before. I mean, Super Mario Brothers was hard when I had never ever played it.
Are you actually
Are
controlling
you in
yourself?
control?
No. This is
Okay,
definitely
good.
Thank God.
Because the camera would be impossible, I think.
I thought you were in control.
I thought you were
and
dead
we're
right
jumping.
there.
Camera seems to be alright, all things considered.
Oh, the
Oh my
Success.
goodness!
I like that when stages like that are over, they simply end. That's kind of charming. In a really tragic and terrible kind of way. I like the extreme pointing that people do.
Oh, and I see that the nipple suction chambers are actually bottle caps on the back.
Say what you will, man. Dr. Eggman looks freaking great in this. I think it's amusing how we have these gigantic-ass environments, and there are sequences where you go really fast, but most of the actual mechanical playing of the game is kind of, you know, gradually paced, well spaced out, easy to follow.
I don't know what just
Oh,
happened.
it almost sunk in the sand.
What you're saying?
I managed to cheat the platform somehow.
Well, you know, by jumping, because it's a platform, and you're doing 3D platforming, which actually has pretty good shadows, all told. Same thing with the models. Sonic running with the lady. It's actually reasonably well modeled, such as it is.
Well, they don't show up on the mini-map, that's heinous.
I think that counted.
The
think
point
it
is to
counts.
try and find them. Why would they just tell you on the
One of
mini?
them's on the roof, you know it.
Lover of challengeless things. It's actually not an offensive character model for a child. It looks like a kid. Most of the time, 3D modelers are really terrible at that, and they just make kids look like tiny adults. Or like scaled down adults with adult faces. It's one of the weaknesses of modern games. But not one of the great weaknesses.
The downfall of Sonic games is the
Was
fact
multi-hits.
that enemies take more than one hit to kill.
That's the downfall of Sonic games? You're kidding me. Like, what if we're talking bosses? Like you have to hit him 6 times or something. More opposition to challenge. So that's not bad on the whole. It's a mission. Run around, get stuff.
Oh wow, it's the snowy wonderland.
Obligatory snow level.
And it's white. No, it's not. It's
Well, at least it's not the damn
Alaska.
desert.
No, it's the level
Yeesh.
from...
They either spent the most time on that level, or just by a happy accident it became mediocre. It's like, we come this far and we finally have one fun-ish thing, almost. To be honest, if all games that featured QuickTime events were this kind of thing instead, it would be a lot better. It makes sense. And we enter the Flame Core. Actually sounds cool.
game called Star Wars Episode 1 Racer. There's a level, a race level in that game wherein you're in a volcano, and it's really fun. There's also a level where you're in space and meteors are coming to get you. That one is also fun. Do you see where I'm going with this yet? What I'm saying is that this game isn't fun.
It has very little to do with the style. There's nothing wrong with being in a volcano, and that's kind of exciting. And there's cool visuals. It's rather well done in that way. It's just the game itself that is awful. And a bad idea, just like every Sonic game. It's just... I guess my thesis with this whole thing is that Sonic 2006 isn't terrible because it's a bad Sonic game, but that it's a bad game, and that Sonic is a bad game, and it proves to be an adequate implementation of what Sonic games are. I do appreciate that pokecapn no longer has the homing attack as a crutch, so he's going to actually have to think about things. That was actually a good cutscene, despite everything that had built up to it. It's simple. It's like, okay, now we have the things that we need, and we do the thing that we need to do. Done. So there's... Wow, there's been legitimately one mediocre level and one good cutscene in this game. Outstanding.
Oh my god.
Why is there a scale?
Welcome to Mario Brothers.
It's actually amusing. Yeah, that's like a Super Mario Brothers.
That's really
I
stupid.
mean, that's a platforming element.
But with the,
Yeah, I'm with Medibot on this
sorry,
one.
just makes it worse than it is.
That was
Looks like you're on
perfectly
a fast
fine.
track to danger. Whoa!
And you're out of time.
I don't really think the time matters except for a few key areas.
Because it's gonna hit right.
No, really, it doesn't. It doesn't care except when you're right near the train.
It's a pretty good illusion, though, all things considered.
I think there's just a different threshold for it than from Sonic Adventure 2, and I'm confused.
Oh yeah, extremely.
It really, really loves springs in this game.
Springs are great. They
Like,
got
a lot.
like hundreds of years.
Of all the things to complain about, the homing attack really shouldn't
My
be
uncle was a
one.
spring.
I mean, apart from the fact that it exists, which is what I complain about. I like how Sonic just sort of
Check me
tumbles
out.
over and is like, oof. Doesn't say anything.
They really should let you re-get that one up.
Yeah, they really should let you re-get that.
What? So that it's too easy? So that you get to stay in purgatory with an infinite checkpoint forever? I love how there's this, like, big line of rings there at the beginning, but the cutscene robs you of them.
Undoubtedly death by lava.
What the fuck?
You took a stupid way and you died for it. That's what. Kind of makes
Now,
sense.
Because
it's
they
lock speed.
obviously can't load the whole level.
I could like.
Well, no, they can't
ready
because
for
the
this?
level is
Ready
freaking
for
huge
this?
and open. I mean, that's the actual bad decision, is to have these gigantic levels that
Avoid
you
Eggman.
can look at from any
Sounds like
angle or
lock speed
whatever.
to me.
It does.
But don't fault them for, like, making
loading.
huge levels
Sonic's
without
1991
acknowledging that
gave
they've
you
made
the same
levels that are too
power.
huge.
Bitches!
Fuck yeah.
Well, aside from being corked completely up there at the end and relying on homing attacks, it was kind of a level. I think I could give this game a second mediocre thing. Yeah. Huh. Cool flying buttresses, I guess. That's kind of neat.
This level design is embarrassing. I say this as a twin-tailed fox.
It's actually rather clever to, reuse their levels and have different secrets for different characters. I mean, they basically did that in Sonic 3 and Knuckles, right? Because you could play through as Knuckles and you got a different experience out of the game, and with only, a slight variation in level design. In fact, they were the same levels, and if you used glitches and tricks, you could glitch into different parts of the level that you weren't supposed to get to. Right? So what that lets the designers do is make segments that are kind of character exclusive without making entire new levels for those characters, and get a lot out of a little. It's a good idea. It's a fine idea. It is a really cool looking Dr. Eggman, I gotta say.
Okay. A demo
I
level
played the
appears
demo.
as an actual level with nothing taken out. Playing Where did you
Oh, an enemy that you can't just immediately homing attack to death? one tiny little step of complexity and now you yell? Get out. Go play Dark Souls or something. I don't care that it doesn't exist yet. Like a good kung fu movie, it ends immediately after the last bad guy is defeated. Ooh, that guy has glasses. Cool. I'm always thrilled when characters in video games have glasses. Except Bayonetta. Then it was awful. I think that's just because the game was awful. Don't like Bayonetta very much. I love the gesticulating. It's charming. Really. I actually like what that character model is doing on the screen right now.
Oh, this is the half-ass demo stage. Now I remember it.
And they changed nothing, did they?
I have no clue, because I
Well, probably not. I mean,
would rather forget about that. 'Cause
Why
I
would you
haven't
change
played that in
anything?
forever. It seems
I'm
pretty
glad we
similar.
just skipped
It looks
all that
alright.
stuff.
I mean, albeit with the same terrible controls, physics, enemies, concept, and homing attack that's in the regular game itself.
Ready for this shit?
Come
That's
on.
almost.
You have a homing attack. How could you fail?
What is he wearing on his head?
It's
Whoa.
Sonic Man!
Excellent.
Yeah, we have to do his mission.
I think we do.
Let's race. Christ.
This is amazing.
This
Versus
is,
Sonic Man.
This is what all the missions should be like, really.
Is with some crazy guy.
Minus the load times.
Sometimes
Plus
the first
load
rate
times.
God will
Do you
give the
think you can
hard-working
beat me
man
and
a
race
little
this
smile.
course
So
one
there was
time
at least one straight up good idea in this whole thing.
to the hard
They didn't
drive
have.
guy.
Given that they
bugs
have
to install
NPCs,
things
they
like
should
when
have
PS2
that
first came out.
NPC.
This was still like the beginning of 2007.
Right.
Ugh.
Whatever.
That's excellent.
I have to play around with balls first and get hit. Isn't this fantastic?
Oh no! One obstacle to my immediately homing attacking everything. I am
They have a
miserable.
magnetic
My name is
pole.
pokecapn. And I am
They have a
mad.
Oh, there's a guy.
I also like the idea that you're smacking Eggman in the face. So maybe I can actually, for the first time in this entire game, give them credit for the gameplay? That can't be right.
He's got a nice. I like his seat though. Check that out. Oh, that's not good.
That's pretty cool.
You okay, Dr. Eggman?
He's
sort of
fine.
was-
I guess I liked how the game has the decency to simply end after that point. To be like, admit that they're out of ideas, and they're just like, well, you've been through one of each of the levels that we designed, so here's the boss and an ending. Pow. Whereas if that were a Final Fantasy game, this would be like the end of the intro stage or whatever, and you would go on this much lengthier journey that would be far more boring. I mean, as far as I can tell, this is about as good as any Sonic Adventure game ever was, so Sonic in 3D. What can you do? Things happen in a sequence, you run around a 3D environment, you beat up an egg robot at the end, and then it's over. Hooray.
Okay, I don't care about the motion capture. All I care are the modelers. They suck penis.
How about the dance?
Hey, the modelers
I
did
don't care about
alright. Whatever.
Yeah, that's easy.
Yeah, the controls seem rather good, but my problem with this is that it addresses a problem that shouldn't exist in the fact that there should not be a homing attack. Aside from that, it actually perversely looks kind of fun. Yeah, you just sort of running around, hitting stuff. Why not? What more can you ask from video games than this? Oh wow! Shadow puts his hand over the back while he's backing up. That's cute.
That's okay, because I don't lose money in the buggy.
And you have to do an extended somersault sequence to get into your buggy in the first place.
Because they don't know how to actually
Just-
put you in.
Yeah, just put that out there. And
Well, actually, I think that's pretty clever. I mean, using an in-game feature that is mapping the jumping character between one location and another, and then like getting in as just a like a homing attack spot. I mean, it's a clever application of the engine, and not all that bad. Don't criticize them. There's plenty enough in the game that is very, very terrible. Don't criticize the dumb shit that isn't all that fucking bad.
Try to hit this one from a distance again because I don't think there's any way to get up there. Because we're
Because
still
the game is
terrified
completely
of the hole.
non-obvious. How would you think that you could go over a bottomless pit with a buggy?
Because buggies are fast.
Because
Because Shadow is extreme, and you should think in extreme.
But all
ways.
of the other gaps have launchers, and this one simply does not have launchers. Why? We don't know.
And
Yeah.
you're
Very
just
poor
concluded to go
You
for it.
just
Very
gotta,
poor
you know,
development.
here we
Gotta
go.
go for it.
You gotta
Wait,
slam
that-
Mountain Dew.
Some gaps have launchers, some other gaps do not have launchers, therefore shitty game design. Pow. Oh man. In the Super Mario Brothers, some pipes have piranha plants and others do not. Terrible design. Right there. They weren't thinking. Now, amazingly, this is actually doing some good things. Like, the game actually is, at least in a tiny way, building up mechanics as you play. He knew to grab onto the eagle. He knew that because it had happened earlier, where he grabbed onto an eagle as Sonic. So I acknowledge that one kinda crappy bit of ramping up. I think that brings our total good stuff quotient to something like one adequate cutscene, one good cutscene, one decent game mechanic decision, and like one sort of crappy one.
I mean, you have to go to the future. You go to the future just like Sonic did, but you're Shadow, and you go to the same city. But who says that you have to go to the same parts of the city that Sonic did?
The game developers.
Because that's really where you are right now.
Yeah.
Well, you're Knuckles in Sonic 3 and Knuckles, and who says that you have to go to the same parts of the stages that Sonic did in that, either. It's basically the same complaint. Because, you know, sometimes you're in the same place as Sonic, and sometimes you aren't. And then that's that. I mean, there is a substantive difference in the fact that this is a rubbish game, and is poorly designed on all fronts. But it's not by that decision that the game lives or dies.
That didn't even mean anything.
Wait, that was it?
Yeah.
What?
As long as the Sonic level.
No, the Sonic level was longer because you had to do more. You had to actually
exactly.
hop around.
But it's the same length.
See, why do we have to go through the same shit that Sonic did? The exact same shit. Why can't we go through different shit that Sonic didn't do? Because the city is presumably fucking huge, or there's an entire fucking world of the future, not just the city, and you could just, I don't know.
Again, same argument, only replace Sonic 2006 with Sonic 3 and Knuckles, which you love.
Because you're not outrunning a tornado.
You would never
Right.
have that complaint.
That's just the pillar of fire from,
And,
Moses or
you know,
whatever.
here it is, the game
Chillin',
is even giving you exactly what you
saying,
asked for
know,
this
whatever,
second.
Romans
And it's
suck
still not
and all that.
satisfactory. I know this sounds crazy, but the more I see of this game, the more I kind of want to play it. I mean, it looks alright. Kind of bad. Kind of a Sonic game. Like, if I could play as a character who didn't have a stupid homing attack, that would be alright.
The same platforming that we failed at many times before.
Yeah, and I don't remember why we failed. Was it just because you kept sliding off it? Oh.
It was physicsing out of everything.
No, you just
Notice the
failed.
volcanoes here, though.
Didn't try to practice up or get better at all.
Instead, there's monsters in the middle of my path. Did I scare you?
That's
Did I make you lose your rings?
that's a pretty cute moment.
Boy.
As long as the game doesn't pull a game.
Like that. As long as the game...
No, come on, that was more than fair. You saw the thing powering up.
Physics!
You were not physicsed,
The
you
camera then
Jingus.
was like, well, here you go.
No, I ended up
You
touching
failed
the
at homing
back.
attacking. I mean, again, I'm not trying to forgive the game for having inadequate control schemes, but at least get your complaints accurate. It is kind of a cool looking level. I mean, even if things don't load correctly. That's actually a cute finishing animation. Oh wait, you get to play as the robot? This is suddenly very cool. To be fair, this is a little better conceived than the Sonic version of the same level. You know, stop the train to destroy it. That's much more interesting than the like fake tension that you get from trying to save this like human girl or whatever that's in this Snidely Whiplash situation, but in slight reverse or something. You know, being on the train rather than being. But yeah. So now we have someone who's going somewhere and we're trying to stop him, and that kind of makes sense, you know? I like Eggman's taunt at the end, that's kind of fun.
Also, all sorts of things get picked up by your targeting system, like that dangerous rock over there.
Or that little flower.
Or a cardboard box.
Like, what do you want? Seriously. I mean, the spring attack, when it works, isn't good enough for you. When something gets in the way of the spring attack being perfect, suddenly the whole game is terrible. Look, the game is already terrible, and it's partially because it includes a homing attack. So you finally have a character who whoa, he stepped on a rock in a weird way there. You finally have a character with no homing attack, but who, like, shoots things that home in, and that's not adequate either. Because, oh no, things get picked up by the targeting. So fine, no game can be designed at all to be adequate for you guys. This one remains awful, but I'm just making that observation. This is actually a decent looking level, you know. A lot of the graphics are okay. The thing that I was gonna say that was actually a cool, perhaps accidental bit of good design was in the part where there's like this wave sweeping stuff backwards. First time you get caught in it, it sweeps you and some Gordos back or whatever. And then as you continue to do that, the more you screw up, the more things get swept back. Not because of like you're playing a game and the punishment gets worse every time until you actually get hit, that kind of thing, but by the natural motion and physics of the scenario. That's a clever bit of fooling. That is good. The one tiny nugget of solid game design in this whole thing. This is actually okay. I mean, the way Iblis moves and looks is pretty cool.
Camera, right?
Yeah.
It's not working. I cannot steer directions, anything.
Yeah, well, the camera is locked because you have to be focused on the boss
I was
for the
complaining
purpose of the
earlier
fight.
about lack of a boss camera mode. Now I'm uncomplaining.
Lord. Nothing is wrong with the damn
Move
camera.
around so much.
And why didn't that throw up?
Because Silver doesn't know what aiming means.
This reminds me of the first time that I played Punch-Out with a friend who could actually play it, watching me, and then he said, you gotta save your punches. It's like you have to wait for the right opportunity to punch, and punching takes a little bit of time, like a non-zero amount of time. So every missed punch, shall we say, robs time away from your, like, good punches. This is not as to forgive how tedious this all is, it's just save your damn punches. At risk of reversing myself on this whole thing looks kind of fun. You're running around and going fast and making jumps. And we finally found the character that the whole game should have been about in the first place. So really this game should have been like the Blaze and Amy game, because they look like the most fun and complete characters so far. I mean, mechanically speaking. The robot is the most fully fleshed out character.
Going incognito.
This is pretty cool.
I think I like Amy.
I mean, for being boring and
Terrible
taking too
control.
long.
No more than
And
anyone
coming out of
else.
freaking nowhere.
She's got an
I wonder
interesting
how she
move
turns
set.
invisible though.
Unknown.
The Invisible.
Did someone say this was fun?
Thing pushing puzzle.
I don't think when anyone said that they like enjoyed Sonic 2006 or Sonic 2006 was fun that they were talking about
Did
this
someone
part.
say they liked the Silver the Hedgehog section? Because
A
Yes.
lot of people said they liked it.
yeah.
Where they said
Again,
it's
they're
like
probably not
wild
talking
card
about
or
this.
something.
That was kind of cool. Just club him on the side of the head. Whoa, sparklies! One cool thing has happened in this game. Wait, I think there were others. This is a lot better than a lot of previous levels. You have a single direction to go. The jumps are not death traps. You have checkpoints at relevant and regular intervals. It's contained. Still has pits, which is terrible.
No.
Ball again.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Bubble.
This one was not actually all that bad.
Do the grab move when you're near them.
Oh.
Oh, I didn't realize that's what was happening.
And now fight some guys.
That kind of makes sense and is
Ready
neat.
with your
A
eyes
little.
Cool.
So
If only I had psychokinesis with me.
Times like this, you wish you had telekinesis.
No, times like this, I wish I had enough energy to immediately grab things after landing.
Instead of just
Gee, would it be nice if games always did exactly what we wanted and were completely easy and trivial? I don't believe that, and neither do you.
Everything in the game expects you to take hits.
So you spend most of the game with like 0 rings. What the hell?
I think that's more on you. You could pretty much manage it if you knew what was coming.
But just barely.
land in Thrill Lizard Fire Breath.
I hate Thrill Lizard.
I like
love
Thrill Lizard. Like his name, anyway.
Maybe if Thrill Lizard had that great
Should
shit.
definitely be the official name.
You
Yikes!
just crushed it up against the wall, and that Thrill Lizard is on the cage. You should deposit him.
Deposit him in the case.
Deposit him in your local Thrill Lizard deposit box.
Get on the case.
Hooray!
Put him in the box. and
5
you can have
cents
it.
received.
That's kind of cute. See, there's still some funny moments left. But anyway, yeah, this looks like a decent boss fight, actually. This could be out of a Castlevania game or something, almost. Because it's like he's trying, you know, the boss is like, he tries something and that doesn't work, so he starts to try other things. It almost makes regular logical sense. I like that the correct thing to do is ignore everything.
Sonic not only comes to her rescue and finds an emotional connection that makes him a love interest, yeah.
You.
2 additional characters.
Also, that didn't happen. I mean, it's kind of hinted at a little, and then you have that stupid decision in the, like, trials or whatever, but, yeah. People insisted to me that there was, like, positive bestiality in this game, and that's not true. It's not the case. I'm glad it's not the case. That kept me away from this for a long time. I mean, look at me. Here I am, finally experiencing this damn thing. And
I can't play a game based on luck.
oh, sure you can. I know you can. You and I played Mario Party. So I know that it came around. Oh, right. But those minigames are all skill-based, right? Yeah. I honestly think that this is less luck-based than, well, for one, than they would have you believe, and even less luck-based than Mario Party, really. I mean, really.
Sonic! What sort of slack-jawed moron didn't allow either farming lives or checkpoints for this stage?
I don't know, maybe they wanted it to be actual difficult in a game that has been just completely not difficult up to this point. To the point where, you know, someone who has never played it before can sit down in one playthrough and get it right on basically the first time.
What the fuck?
Maximum height based on
When you
starting
started.
altitude.
Clearly.
Well, yeah. Why not? I mean, that part even kind of makes sense. Yay, robot! I like that the enemies get zipped into touch points. Space-time. What's actually surprising to me is how the how visually consistent the old and new characters are. I mean, there you have the classic three, Sonic, Knuckles, and Tails, and they look they look appropriate next to the others who are more detailed and newer because they came out later and in newer things. So that's an impressive bit of visual fooling, having consistent character design across like ages of art implementation in video games. Then you have this really frightening Dr. Eggman in who still looks really great in any scene that he's in. And the robot, who is the fullest and most robust character. Yeah. Yes! Dr. Eggman. So good! Look at that guy!